In a world of glitz and glam, flashing lights and screaming fans, most people are unaware of the war that rages behind the scenes. And that war includes your favorite artist and your favorite songs. This is The Dark Side of Songwriting. Hosted by Nayim Edwards.
Sorry for the delay, y'all. These past few days have been nothing shy of absolutely, completely foolish and nonsensical, to say the very least. But before we get started with today's episode of The Dark Side of Songwriting Special Edition, we are wishing high-ranking fleet member Xavier Landa a speedy recovery. We love you. Get your rest. I mean it. And shout out to Grump. Love your work. Love everything you're doing over there. Thank you for your financial contribution to this channel. Because of people like y'all, this thing continues to go, grow, and soar. Let's do a disclaimer. We're going to have to start giving disclaimers before the show, man. To sum that completely up, it is okay to disagree. It is not okay to disrespect. I block people. I'm not going to continue to go back and forth with people. You don't have to be on the same page as me. You don't have to like me. You don't have to like what I say. You don't have to like anything over here. You could be on a whole different page, on a whole different planet somewhere. You can make that known. That is perfectly fine. You're supposed to, if you feel a different kind of way, speak up and say something. But don't disrespect my people over here. And do not disrespect me. I will block you. I don't care. You can call it whatever you want to. This is an educational channel. This isn't a channel, whatever other people's doing, we don't know what that is. This is educational. So if you know something that we don't know, say it. If I'm wrong, it's okay to say it. Just make sure you come with your facts and don't disrespect my folks, man. We're not tolerating that. And speaking of disrespecting my folks, I posted on my community the other day when this was supposed to come out how somebody was disrespecting my homeboy, my family, my people. And I blocked them from the chat. And he comes, or she, or whatever, they come and disrespect me in my inbox talking about, bitch, you blocked me from the chat again, I'm gonna beat your ass. We gotta talk about the internet today. You know this was gonna come. And I want to talk about the internet in relation to O'Shea Sibley and why I brought that example up of the person getting in their feelings over action on the internet when they are the aggressor in the situation. So if you don't know what happened with O'Shea Sibley, you probably heard murmurs of homosexual black dancer in New York stabbed by a Muslim. That is basically the line that's been going around about what happened with O'Shea. What happened with O'Shea was there was a group on this side and there was O'Shea group. They clashed, they walked away, they clashed again, and O'Shea is the person who dies as a result of the altercation. The internet plays a part in this is because we're living in two different worlds now. There's the digital world and then there's the physical world where digital rules do not apply in the physical world. If we have an altercation, because one, you shouldn't be having altercations with strangers. I know that people call you names. I know that people disrespect you. I know that people do all type of shit. But I'm sorry to say this, and it sounds crazy to say this, but we got to remember about what it is like to actually live in the physical world. I don't give a fuck who calls me a name in the physical world. The thing on my mind is this worth dying for? Is this worth going to jail for? Is this worth delaying my day or delaying my freedom? You have to think about this. If all that's being exchanged is words. Because if somebody's just calling you nigger, who gives a fuck if a milk cricket calling you nigger? Dog, you got a family that give a fuck about you. O'Shea got people who love him and care about him and friends and shit. But all of that goes out the window when you're dealing with people with digital minds coming into the physical fucking world. Because you, as a fleet member, if you're a fleet member watching this, or if you're a person who's thinking about being somebody who frequents this channel, you already should have an understanding that the objective when you walk outside your door is to handle your business and get back home to your fucking family who you take care of, who take care of you, who love you, and who fucking need you. It's okay to have fun. It's okay to engage. It's okay to do new shit. But it is not okay to engage with strangers. And you want to know why it is not okay in the physical world to engage with strangers in a combative way? Is because we don't fucking know how they're going to fucking react. The internet has created this thing where people think they know your pattern of behavior in the real world because of your pattern of behavior on the internet. Yes, a lot of the things that we do online reflect what's going on in our minds and reflect who we are. But we have this understanding that usually the loudest and the craziest and the foolishness that happens online is not a direct indicator of what people are going to do in the physical world. Because see, niggas and people talk all that bullshit on the internet. Well, I would do this, I would have done that, I would have whatever, just to get in real life and fucking die. That is what really happens. Oh, I'm this kind of man, I'm this kind of woman, I whatever, to find out that you're a whore online or you're a gangster online, but you get in the physical world and you're none of those things. They blurred the lines, and they're trying to destroy the barrier, destroy the boundary, destroy the protocol in the physical world. But nature takes precedent over anything that's going on the internet. You can say what the fuck you want on the internet. On the internet, people have a back and forth all motherfucking day, and it never dies. And there's no link rot when it comes to internet beef with a lot of these people. Because in real life, if you have an altercation, because this thing got amped up when niggas pulled their cell phones out and started to film. People act a donkey fucking fool when the cell phone comes out. When that cell phone came out, I don't know where I put my other phone at, but when that cell phone came out, everything got amplified, everything turned the fuck up, because now there's an audience, and there's not going to be just an audience of whoever was at the gas station. It's not going to just be the audience of your friends and maybe some bystanders. It's going to be millions and millions of people, because we know that the nonsense and the bullshit goes way further than something peaceful. Like, you wouldn't be watching baby ducks cross a stream or listening to rain sounds or jazz music or nothing like that. These people are actively fighting, and there's racial undertones that go with that. On the internet, it's just blah, 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 barking and all that bullshit, but there's a barrier there. The barrier and the safety barrier is you can't get to me. You don't know what I look like. I can say whatever I want to. That's why that bitch wrote me from that fake page the other day, because it's like, if I can see you and I know who you really are and I know your real identity, that puts you in more danger. These people can get up here and say and do what they want to. Fake page, fake picture, fake name, fake birthday, fake everything, free trials, just all type of... You can create a human being out of nowhere on the internet, but in the real world, that person would not have done that if they was to have to stand there and do it in my face, because there's an immediate reaction and an immediate consequence that follows a lot of the shit that you do. See, online you could go back and forth and say what you want and do your hate speech and do your bullshit, but in real life you do that and the consequence can be instantly death. Over here you can cut the computer off, delete your profile, do whatever the fuck you want to. We're not supposed to, it's not supposed to be the same, because it's not. The internet's not a real place, but the internet is a real place. And the internet has real dire, real life consequences when you start taking that internet shit and bringing it to real life. The second thing when it came to O'Shea is, when you walk away from an altercation in real life, it's supposed to be over. He got himself killed because he was following down behind his friend. And when you follow down behind your friend, the only person that ended up dying was you. Yes, that other side was wrong, because when you hear the whole report of everything that comes out, the first question that anybody with sense will ask is, why is this group over here bothering with a group of homosexuals? Are you trying to holler at those young men? Because y'all old as hell. Are you trying to holler at them? That is what somebody would say. So is it like you got rejected, you got your feelings hurt, so you start calling names? You have to have emotional control over yourself, especially as a black person in this society. Because people are able to hurt you and do things to you because you don't have nobody to have your back. And we're getting on track with people to be able to have your back. But when you see discourse on the internet that will tell you, because most of the shit is the internet is a socially engineered experiment to sow discourse in real life. This is what they wanted the whole fucking time, was to take that bullshit or whatever. So when these people is online and they're acting a certain way and they doing or whatever, and they got a reputation, and the phones come out and it heightens the sense of everything, and it's like, I got to show out because I don't want to look pussy. I got to show out because I don't want to look like this. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be like this in front of these people or whatever. Nobody is understanding that those things, when they come over here, it's like, you ever seen a cartoon and the cartoon steps out the TV and they turn into like a 3D object puppet type of thing? That is what it's like getting off the internet and going to real life. When the conflict is over, it's supposed to be over. You don't follow down behind because y'all riding around listening to fucking Saucy Santana and people telling you, oh, I'm going to see you, it's on site, I'm going to see you, it's that. That shit's not real. I guess it would be real if, you know, you come into real life and you get on-site treatment from the bullshit that you're talking about. You not supposed to, you can't, it's just different rules. It's a different set of rules. But when the fight was over and you came back, that is what got you killed. We have to separate. I mean, the two are separate because these people, it's like, I don't want to walk in circles because that's just my main point, but these people on the internet feel like they can say what they want to do what they want to do, act how they want to act, but then they come out here and they want fair treatment. They come out here and they want somebody to feel sorry for them. They come out here and they want things to be how they are online. Oh, online is a very common thing from people who have no real world experience. They would say, it's not supposed to be women. It's not supposed to be kids who get hit. We supposed to leave the women and the kids and the old people alone. Like, no, like in the real world, that's not how that go. In the real world, it's anybody and anything I can get my hands on if I'm really that much of a gorilla like I'm talking about. You don't even have to be in the street to know that. You can look at the local news and see how people act. You can look at the local news and see how people be. Another thing that the internet has done, and this all ties into O'Shea because he's a victim of this internet culture. He's a victim of thinking that shit was sweet. He's a victim of forgetting that everybody is not the same and everybody's not going to have the same reaction. Another thing the internet has done has given everybody a voice to speak and making everybody feel like that what they say has some value, what they say has some weight, what they say matters, and that's not true. Everybody should not be able to be a contributor to what the fuck is the dialogue is and what the fuck is being talked about. I remember the other day I was on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. I was up there and I was looking for something specific, and I seen a bitch say, just because it was a bitch and it was a black man who was a PhD, she's gonna tell the PhD, just because you got a PhD, that don't mean you know everything about the fucking subject that he was talking about. And I'm just like, bro, this is where we at. Like, the bitch who is you, what is your qualification to speak on this subject? What is the credential that made you somebody who could accurately speak, professionally speak on the subject? You tell the PhD that you have the same weighted opinion as the PhD, and this is how I know that society is on the brink of fucking collapse, and niggas ain't gonna have no choice but to go outside, because you are really telling a person who went to school for damn near probably 8 years, broke as fuck, sacrificing their life, sacrificing their time, doing everything, had to go to school for more time after that, but dedicated their life to a subject, dedicated their life, and their life's work is nothing but this. And you're gonna tell them that because you feel a different type of way about the facts, that they must have some error on their part, even though they're the fucking professional and you're not coming to them as another professional. This is why we say we don't debate. We only would debate with our equals. Everybody else we teach. I think that's a quote from Dr. John Henry Clark. He says, I only debate my equals. Everybody else I teach. It's something like that. But it's like, this is what the internet has created. The internet has created a space where everybody is equal. And that's not how it is in the physical world. We're not all equal. We don't all have this at the same level at the same thing. You're going to be a student or you're going to be teaching somebody. Like, it's so fucked up with this O'Shea shit, because the cocktail was there for this to be like, oh, this some really some race shit. This some really some whatever shit. But it's not. It's some you taking that internet mentality of, oh, I'm going to say what I want to. I'm going to do what I want to. Fuck them. Fuck that. Everything's supposed to be a standstill. But then you go over there and the second go round, them people was not playing with your ass. When you retreat, it's supposed to be, okay, we got away. But then the threat come back. Then it's just like, it's no bill, man. Like, it's fucked up. But this is where we at with the internet. People with their pent up frustrations, looking at everybody else's life, comparing themselves to people who they don't know the full fucking story, comparing your full-fledged life to a highlight reel. This is where we at. People who have no business speaking on things, people who have no business talking about certain things, putting their 2 cents in, acting like they have their credential. People's credentials nowadays are, you made it public so I can talk about it. That's like me talking to my good friend, Dr. Isaiah Spate, chemist, brilliant, his life's work. This is a real person. That's like me going up to him and telling him that I don't like whatever he said about the element oxygen, and my opinion matters more than the chemist's opinion on O3 or something like that. Like, bro, this is a real professional. How can a person who's not the professional tell the professional anything? This is what the internet is. People just throwing it in there because, oh, I see it, I should say something. I see it, I don't like it. I see it, what is that? Like, no, they have no business speaking about a lot of this stuff. And how this young man ended up in this situation is he drugged that internet mentality to the real world, and the real world materialized something that the internet didn't teach him. Because the internet is not a real place. It's a real place, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to wrap up here because I got to get out of here because I got somewhere to go. But, man, like, I really hate that I even had to say that, because you weren't killed because you was a Muslim. You wasn't killed because not a Muslim. They didn't kill you because they're Muslims. They killed you because they hated you, obviously. But they killed you because you came back over there. You weren't killed because you was black. You weren't killed because you was gay. You wasn't killed because you was a Christian. You wasn't killed because you was a dancer. You was killed because you ran back on somebody who dispersed from the conflict, and you was running down behind somebody because the internet and that digital brain in the physical world rubbed you out. It don't work like that. There are no rules out here. There is no rules in the physical world that apply to the internet, because 99.9% of the stuff that people do on the internet and say and believe and voice, they might believe that in the physical world, but they would never act on it.